What's up, guys? I'm Chris, and today you're watching a magic review on the Pitata Watch by Pita. What is the Pita Watch? So, the Pita Watch is a time prediction device with a multitude of new features and an elegant design. Now, I'll give you a close up here. There's the face, the back, the side. The strap is nice and thick. It's genuine leather, have a crocodile pattern. Now this one is blue. You can also get additional straps that come in brown, black, and tan, I believe. I was actually going to order the black, but after actually receiving this and having it in person, this watch is so much nicer than the pictures give it credit for, and I actually really, really love the blue. So I'm going to leave it with blue. Now, the blue, I think also, it has an elegant look, but because it's not a traditional color, I think it also has a casual feel to it as well. So I think that's why I'm going to keep it the blue. I can wear it to professional gigs. It looks great. I can wear it, on the street. It looks great. Now, anyway, so the quality on this is absolutely phenomenal. When I opened this up, I was, it definitely exceeded my expectations. It's a beautiful watch and just very, very well made. So, some of the new features that this watch includes are that the hands move both ways. So, you now have the fastest time prediction possible, regardless of where the hands are on the watch to whatever time is input. The longest it's going to take is 2 seconds. So, that's extremely quick. Now, on top of that, this comes with a remote. So, what do you get? Let's go with that. This is the packaging here. So, for those who like packaging, you'll be happy. It's super nice. For those of you who don't, it doesn't matter. But you have the packaging, and inside you will get the watch. You will get a charging cable for the remote, and then you'll get a remote. So, this watch can be your time can be input is a standalone feature just using the remote. So you can carry the remote in your pocket and you're always ready to go. You can also input your time on your phone. And what's great about this watch is that for the first time, you're able to peek a time. So the crown on this is functional. It works. You pull the crown out and you can adjust the hands. Now, what's beautiful about this is if you give this to your participant and you have them select a time, where they land on that time, once the crown is pushed in, you'll receive information so that you can get your peak and you know the time that they landed on. From there, you can also input a force time. There's just so many options with this and so many different routines that are possible. The tutorial, it's the one that I received, because this is an early copy for review, is just very basic. It tells you how the watch works, all the functions and features, setup, and then there is a written version with, I think, like 10 different routines. So you have a few different time predictions, you have some influence routines, you also have a dual reality routine. So lots that's provided. Now, the tutorial, the one I received, was everything that I needed to know to get started, set it up, and setup was super quick, basically. That's the other thing, is that this has the fastest connection when it comes to if you're using a phone to input the time or get your peak, which you will need to if you're getting a peak. As it stands right now, I have the Palm Peaker coming in probably like a week. It wasn't ready yet when these came to me, so I'm pretty sure you'll be able to get your peak through that as well, which doesn't need a phone or the app. But for now, if you want your peak, you need to use a phone. And the thing is, this is always on. So it connects as soon as you open the app, you're connected. Like, it doesn't take any time at all. So that's awesome. Anyway, with the tutorial, you will get a final version which may have the routines in video. I'm not sure. The difficulty level on this. So this is extremely easy, whether you're inputting numbers on your phone screen or if you're using the remote. Now, if any of you have Time Hacker, you know how the remote works, and it's the exact same remote. So you get vibration feedback so that you know that you've transmit all the information that you need to. It sends right away. You have control of when you send it, and I just love that you get a remote to use with this. I think it's extremely deceptive when you can, place this down on a participant's hand or whatever, however you want to present it, and you don't bring out a phone, you don't bring out anything that could lead to any kind of method, right? You can do all the dirty work in your pocket, and that sounds bad, but you can do all of that in your pocket and nobody's going to ever know a thing. Setup, reset. This is a very quick setup. Reset on this can also be very quick. So if you're using your phone, this can basically be an instant reset because you can just input the current time. If you're using the remote to reset things, there are two modes on the remote. There's a performance mode, and then there's also a mode to kind of adjust things. And if for whatever reason things aren't ever calibrated or synced, you can manually adjust it so that you're always right where you need to be as far as the hands go. So if you're manually resetting this to the time, and I mean, you can also use the crown feature if you want to do that. But anyway, if you use the remote, there is a mode that allows you to just move the hands for adjustments. And there's, if you have Time Hacker, there's a very quick way of doing this, and then there's also precise ways depending on which buttons you press. So you'll understand that when you get it. It's very, very simple. Another great detail with this is that Pita has thought of a lot of small subtleties that they've included in this. So if you are inputting the information through the remote or through the app, once you send the information, the hands and the second hand will stop so that they do not move any further, which you want if you're predicting a time, right? However, if you're doing a peak version where your participant sets the time with the crown function, and then once they push the crown in, you get your peak of the time that was selected, the hands on the watch will continue to move. So, for example, if they stopped on 6:32, as you're doing your presentation or your process of mind reading, if it takes 2-3 minutes, when you see the watch next, it will be 6:35, right? And that's great because that just shows that this is a normal watch. Once they push in the crown, it keeps working as a normal watch would, right? So that, because sometimes if the watch were to just stop, right, then they might think later, well, from the time I pressed the crown in to the time I next saw the watch, it's been 3-4 minutes and the watch didn't move. So then they might start to suspect that there's something funny about the watch. So the fact that the watch continues to move as time goes on, I think that's a great feature, because really, in that sense, it's not going to matter, because even though the time has changed, you still got the time that was in their mind, right? You were successful in reading their mind, and that's all you're going for, right? So the fact that maybe this is 3 minutes past after you've revealed, that makes total sense, right? But when you're predicting a time and you're doing the work, the hands stop, so that once the watch is turned over, you're always 100% right. Anyway, I've had this for about a week now, and the reason I held off reviewing it, I didn't want to review it right away, just because this is a pricier item for those who are interested, maybe haven't purchased yet. So I wanted to make sure that I tested it out for a number of days. Now, as soon as I got it, I set it up, watched the tutorial, very easy to understand everything. And since then, I've been wearing it as my everyday watch, and I've been using it to perform. So all I can say right now is, after a week and having performed this a number of times, it works flawlessly. Like, I have not had a single hiccup or any tiny errors of any sort. I've used it in the prediction sense with the remote. I've used it with the app. I've used it where the spectator pulls the crown and I get my peak. I've kind of done everything that you can with it so that I would go into this review being able to say, yes, I've used it, I've tested it for a week now, and it works perfectly. So, pocket space. It's the beauty about a watch, right? Whether it's this watch or if you're familiar with other watches, they don't take up any pocket space. You have it on your wrist and you're good to go. Can it be inspected? Absolutely. Right? They can handle this. They're going to be handling this. Whether you're doing the input method, they're probably going to have it in their hand face down, or if they're doing it right, it's perfect because they're pulling the crown, they're setting it, gets placed in their hand or whatever. And when they see it again later, the time's moved. It seems like a perfectly functional watch. Is it a worker, and who would use this? Definitely a worker. I've reviewed the SB watch, which I also really, really like, and I love the Timesmith app. So if anyone's seen that review, you know that I have been using that watch for a long time, and I use it in all my working gigs. So, I mean, maybe not like my stage shows and stuff like that, but if I'm doing walk around or close up, I use it. So same goes with this watch. It's going to be the same. I will use this in every working condition and chance that I have the opportunity to. Who would use it? This is mentalism, right? So I would just basically say the mentalist, or people who combine magic and mentalism. Now, I mean, if you are a magician, you don't perform a lot of mentalism, there's no reason why you can't do this or have this. I mean, it's very easy to use, and maybe you want to throw a little bit of mentalism into your repertoire, and this is great. Now, it's not a cheap item, so you may not do that, but I'm just saying, like, it's not specific to mentalists only, right? Like, it is a mentalism effect, but anybody can do it. Is it worth the money? What's the price? Right now, this is on through Kickstarter. It's $319, and once this retails, it's going to be $500. So, is it worth the money? Honestly, I feel like at this point, this is the best watch of this sort on the market. Like I said, I have used other watches, and I definitely do like the other watches. I'm not at all saying that they're no good anymore, because they definitely are. This one just has some new features and a couple advances that I think make this really shine. At $319, definitely worth your money. At $500, definitely worth your money, right? I think that this is an item that you are going to get a ton of use out of. I think that it's going to continue to be consistent and reliable. And what else is great about this is, like, if you don't have your phone on you, like, obviously you have to carry the remote if you don't have your phone, but I just mean, like, as long as you have the remote or your phone, you always have a way to perform this. So, you carry your phone on you every day. Maybe you don't carry the remote. Doesn't matter. You're doing a working gig and maybe you don't carry your phone. You can use the remote. So, I think that's a really good feature. Pros and cons. I haven't come across any negatives yet. I guess time will tell if this is consistent and reliable. I think it will be, for sure. Just because, like, even just opening the box and looking at this and then taking it out and seeing, like, how well made everything is from the strap to the body of the watch. It's very well made. It is solid, right? Like, this does not feel at all like a cheap watch. It feels like, a watch that you would find somewhere that costs a lot of money, because it's very, very well made. Feels very durable. Like I said, I don't have any negatives at this point. And the pros I've kind of listed, like the new features, just how quick it is, how easy it is to use, different ways that you can use it. The list goes on, right? So I would jump on this if you are interested right now while you're getting it for almost $200 less. I think this is definitely a very, very good investment if you're into this. And with that, I think I've kind of covered everything that I can, but there's a lot to cover with this. So if you have any questions, just leave a comment. I will do my best to answer them myself. And if not, I will find a way to get you the answer. So with that, we'll see you at the next review.